Welcome to the Wealth Embodied podcast. I'm your host, Brianna Faringer, an attorney, spiritual guide, and wealth activator. I'm here to help you align your mindset for abundance and break through any glass ceilings with money. If you're ready to embrace your highest calling, manifest with more ease, and create a life that feels lighter and more aligned, then let's dive in. Hello, I hope that you are having an amazing day. Welcome to the Wealth Embodied podcast. I am Brianna. Thank you so much for joining me. Today, I am going to talk about money blocks, which is a huge topic in and of itself. I mean, there's so many things that we could get into if we're talking about money blocks, but it's really about trying to break free of money blocks and why it's so important to do that. And the reasons that starting to change your relationship with money is so important, because the things that really block people when it comes to money are not related to money. Right? So when we're talking about money, it's not really about the money. It's about all of the things that affect how we handle money in our lives, right? And that can be anything. So this is the thing that a lot of people struggle with when we start talking about money. People think money is just about money. It's about earning it. It's about planning for it, saving, investing, financial planning, all of that kind of stuff, figuring out how to balance your bank account. Those are important things, but when we're talking about money mindset, we are not dealing with any of those things at all. We are talking about the things that have happened or are happening in your life that are affecting the amount of money that you bring in, because everything that has happened in your life affects money, and money affects everything. They're linked. So when I am working with people one-on-one, we are exploring all of the things that are affecting them when it relates to money, because they're things that people don't realize have any connection to money whatsoever. If you knew that, you would be a millionaire. So if you knew all of the things that were affecting you when it came to money, you wouldn't have a problem making money or bringing in as much as you want. And it would come in so easily, you would barely be working, if at all. The things that affect us around money are infinite. It can be from a relationship that you had as a child, with a family member, with a friend, with anybody. It can be something that happened at any point during your life. It is oftentimes something that people don't realize is even affecting them that much, because we tend to have these beliefs that the big things that have happened, like things that we consider to be big traumas or big events that we have negative associations with, we tend to think that those are the ones that are affecting us most. It's not that they're not affecting us. It's just that there are little things that happen throughout our lives that can have as big of an effect on your life and how you handle money as the big things. And so a lot of times people don't have any recognition about what is actually affecting them when it comes to money, because they think it's just about the money, and it's not about the money at all. It's about all of the other things in your life that are already needing and wanting to be healed. So there are so many money blocks. I couldn't possibly go over them in one episode. I'm going to definitely talk about a couple that are ones that tend to be big ones that can affect most everyone. And this is not the purpose of this episode, is to go into specific money blocks, but because I could spend an hour or more talking about just each of them individually, the ones that are kind of like the big ones. But I will say one that affects a lot of people is people pleasing. And the reason is it can be a couple things. Sometimes people have a belief that they only have value and worth if they are doing things for people. This is something that comes up a lot with people that I work with in my one-on-one sessions. And often people don't realize it. That's the issue. So there's nothing wrong with people pleasing or doing things for other people if you are doing it for the right reasons. It's not up to me to tell you what's right and what's wrong. What I will say is, digging into the reasons that you are constantly doing things for other people and not yourself is an important part of the process. And The thing that comes up a lot is people will think that they only have value or worth if they're doing things for people. And so what happens is they will attract people in their life that show them that they only have value because they're doing things for them. I've had people who pay for a lot of things for their friends or family or people in their lives, and they do that because they have the money to do it, and they want to be generous. But there starts to become this pattern in relationships where then the people around you start to expect that. And it kind of becomes this, oh, well, you have more money than me, so you should pay for this. If some of you are listening to this and you're like, that I don't have friends like that, good for you. But I do know several people that I work with one-on-one where this is a pattern. They're doing things for people and they're doing it. They're like, oh, I've got the money to do it. Like you don't have as much money. And so then these other people start to expect that. And this is not about other people being bad or having negative intentions, but I'm saying that because how you feel about yourself is reflected back to you in the people that are around you, the people that you surround yourself with. So if you have this belief that your only worth and value is in you doing things for people or buying things for people, you're going to attract people that reflect that back to you. And sometimes it's not going to feel good. Actually, a lot of times it's not. Um, but I just kind of point that out because a lot of people will do things for other people thinking that it's conditional, and that significantly affects money. If you have a belief that you can only get money because you're doing things, it's going to prevent the amount of money you make. By the way, that doesn't mean you can't make money. I made quite a bit of money, when I was working full time as an attorney, and I had lots of really negative mindsets around money. That's not really one of them I've had, I will tell you, but if you're listening to this and you're like, oh, well, I have money and that hasn't prevented me from getting where I wanted to go. Some people, a lot of people get very successful making money in their lives, but they're still not happy or content because of the ways that they feel about themselves. One of these is if you do not feel that you are worthy or deserving of people loving you without you doing things for them, it's going to affect money because we also will have the pattern of not thinking we are worthy or deserving of money without doing something for it. And the reality is, money and things of value can come to you very easily, sometimes without you doing anything. And I know that because it happens to me, and it never used to until I started to change my relationship and my beliefs around money. But I don't want to go too much into people pleasing. It's just that that's one that really affects a lot of people, but that is a big money block. And that's one where people don't have any recognition that that's affecting money. How you receive friendship, how you receive love from other people affects how you receive money. It's the same thing. They're all linked. So if you have a hard time receiving things from people, love, friendship, without feeling it's conditional, that's going to affect how you get money. And so I'll give you an example. And this is kind of around people pleasing, but I had a client that came and saw me and we did a session. And one of the things that came out, it was that this person's biggest block was around a relationship that he had with one of his parents as a child. And so the dynamic of the household was that this person had an ill parent, and he, as a younger child, felt the need to do things, because his mom was sick, or maybe she was sleeping a lot, or she wasn't able to do as many things around the house as she would if she wasn't sick. And so he was doing things to be helpful to her. And what was happening was that he was getting acknowledged by his mother for that, more so than he was if he were not doing those things, or even before his mom got sick. So the dynamic that was being created was he was doing things like cleaning the house, helping take care of his brother, doing things so that it would make his mom feel better. And it was having that result. But what ended up the result of those types of scenarios is that he began to have a belief, conscious or unconscious, that the only way he could get love from this person was by doing things. That affects money. And by the way, if you had this relationship with a parent or with somebody growing up, I would say, this definitely will apply to you. I'm not saying this is your biggest block, though. Every person's biggest money block is different. So, and I couldn't possibly tell anybody that unless I'm in a one-on-one session with them and I'm very in tune with their energy and the things that have happened, right? And so, you know, this is a dynamic that if this has come up in your life, it is going to affect how you get money. I'm not telling you it's your biggest money block. For this particular person, it was. And what that means is when you can start to identify what are the biggest things that are affecting you, when you start to shift those, they are going to have a massive effect on your life. Not just around money, around other things, around your relationships with people, around how you feel about yourself. Because it starts to shift the thought process that you have that you are only valuable because you're doing things for other people. You just being you is valuable enough. You are worthy of receiving love just for being you. You don't have to do things for it. You are deserving of receiving love and money just for being you, not because you have to take action and do things for people to prove that to yourself and to them. You are worthy just as a human being. And so when you have these beliefs that so deeply affect who you are as a person and you can start to shift them, those are going to make massive changes in your life. This person that I was talking about, this client who had this conditional belief on receiving love and money on him doing things, making that shift is going to result in a lot of positive changes in his life because that is such a big block for him. That doesn't mean there are not other things affecting him. That does not mean this is somebody else's biggest block. It just means the more that he can work on that, the more it's going to affect how he gets money and other things into his life. It's going to have one of the biggest changes because it's such a big block for him individually. So being able to identify what are the things that are most affecting me, you're probably going to have a hard time doing that on your own. And that is why there are so many people that are doing, or offering services around this kind of work, changing your mindset, changing how you feel. When you start to change your belief around things, you start to change how you feel in your body. You can embody the feeling and you can start to attract the things that you want in your life. But if you don't feel worthy, if you don't feel deserving, if you feel like you have to constantly be doing things for people, it will greatly affect how you get things in your life. So things don't always have to be conditional. And a lot of people think this consciously or subconsciously. If somebody does something nice for you, people will have this idea, oh, now I owe that person. You don't owe them anything if they did something for you because they just wanted to. Having that belief that, oh, now I owe this person, somebody did something for me, I owe them. It's like I think about it of people having like a mini chalkboard in their mind and they're like writing up these like little like lines like, okay, I owe this person this much and this person did something for me or I did something for them and now they owe me. When you are looking at life that way, it's going to prevent you from getting all of the things that you want because people can do nice things for you. People can give you love. People can give you money. People can give you things of value, friendship, opportunities. You can be in good health without having to work so hard and do things for it all the time. By you just being you, you can get the things that you want in life. It's shifting the way that we think about ourselves and how we feel about ourselves that can make the biggest difference around that. And so that's where money blocks are coming in. I call them money blocks, but they're blocks to you getting everything that you want in your life, whatever it is. The more that you're keeping yourself safe, the more that you are keeping yourself safe from the world or from having to be vulnerable, the more you are keeping out all of the things that you truly desire. So keeping yourself safe is costing you something, not just in money, but in love, in joy, in health, in feeling good in your body. So that's why dealing with money blocks is so important. It's not just fears around money, anxieties around money. It's about other things that can affect your life. And my belief, if you don't believe these things, please, take what resonates and leave what doesn't. My belief is that beyond the things that happen in this physical life, there are many other things that have an effect on money, including past lives, including our ancestral lineage, things that happen inside the womb, and things that happen at birth. So those are all events that have an energetic effect on our souls and on us as human beings in this physical life. And sometimes you can be carrying something with you and have no recognition of it whatsoever. These are things that come up in people that I work with. These are things that have come up for myself. There are things that have happened that you are not going to have any link to money because people think it's always just about the money. It's about more than money. How you think about everything in your life affects how much money you can ultimately get. So that's why, working on money blocks, figuring out what they are, really diving into doing healing, inner spiritual work, growth, doing things that heal the things in your life that have affected you, those are going to have a positive effect on money, whether you want that outcome or not. The more that we can heal ourselves, the more that we can get more of everything that we want. It's just that people are afraid to go there. People are afraid to do the work. People want to have an easier way to do it. And the reality is, the more you do the work, the easier it becomes. I actually enjoy doing the work. I used to be terrified of it because I was afraid of my feelings. I'm not anymore because it's so much easier when you just face them head on and you recognize that healing the things that have happened in your life and continuing to work on them is what's going to give you the greatest joy. And if money for you is a goal that you are trying to get to, and by the way, I'm not telling you that money brings you joy. For some people it can, for a lot of people it doesn't, because having more money without doing the inner work will have a significant effect on you. That's why when people win the lottery, they lose it all. They don't know how to handle it. They haven't healed anything in their bodies that allow them to hold on to it. So if your goal is to get more money, my recommendation to you is not just to be working hard towards, that end. It's to be making the big changes in yourself, how you feel about yourself, your relationships with other people, healing the things that have happened that you feel have deeply affected you. Really facing those things head on are going to have such a significant effect on your ability to get money easily without you having to work so hard, right? That goes to it being conditional. People have this belief that making money has to be so hard. It doesn't. Coming from somebody who believed it had to be hard and that it had to feel bad and it had to feel stressful and I had to be so tired that I couldn't even do anything for myself when I got home from work. I used to believe that was the only way I could make money. I know now that that is not true. It's not. Things come to me much more easily now. And I don't say that to brag. You're going to hear me say that a lot. I'm not saying that because I'm trying to brag. I'm saying it because I want you to know that that's true. And that the more that you can change the way that you feel about yourself, the more evidence is going to come in to prove to you that it is true. You deserve to have money. You deserve to have everything that you want in life. And the best way to do it is to start doing the work and identifying your money blocks. And if that's something that you can't do on your own, which I will tell you a lot of people can't, there are people that can help you. There are modalities that can help you. There are different holistic tools that can help you. Certainly I can help you, but there's a lot of different ways to try to shift things as it relates to your life and to heal things that you believe that you know that you need to heal from, because those things are going to help you have a better life and it's going to help you get more money. Like there's no question. The more that you do to work on yourself, the more money you can get. But when you have a specific focus on money, of course, that can be, very helpful in you getting more money and other forms of abundance. So, like I said, there's so many different money blocks. I can't go into them in one episode. Of course, I'm going to touch on these as we go on and, share more information about things that really have affected people I've worked with and things that I know have big effects on people just generally. But what I would say is, you know, after this podcast, if you have some time, go and, write down or think of the areas in your life where you are making everything conditional. Do I believe that people in my life only have to give me love because I do things for them? Do I have a belief that I have to work incredibly hard for money to get it? Identifying those things can help you start to shift them. The how is a different question, but identifying them is a very important first step. Identifying where in my life am I placing conditions on people? When I do something nice for a person, am I expecting them to pay me back? When somebody does something nice for me, how am I responding to it? Am I allowing a person to just do something nice for me and not have to pay them back or feel like now I owe you? And this is something that comes up even just with a compliment. If somebody gives you a compliment, let them compliment you. If somebody comes up and says, "Oh, you look so nice today," just say thank you. Don't deflect it back to them. Noticing things like that where it's coming up, where people are doing something nice for you, and you're like, "Oh, whoa, 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 now I don't know what to do with that." If somebody says, "Oh, you look nice." "Oh, no, you look nice." Or, "Oh, no, oh, I just, I didn't even shower today," or "I didn't even brush my hair today." Or people will say things like that because they're deflecting back what they don't want to come to them. So just noticing areas in your life where you're feeling uncomfortable when people are doing things for you. Are you making things conditional? Do you feel like people owe you or you owe them? Those are mindsets that are not helpful to you getting the things that you want in your life. People can do things for you and you don't have to do something in return. People can do nice things for you and then you don't owe them. And you can do nice things for people, but don't do it because you feel it's the only way that you are worthy and deserving. And if those are things that are coming up, there are certainly more work that needs to be done around that. But just identifying it is what's really important here. So we can't make changes all at one time. It's a step-by-step process. Identify where these issues are coming up. If anything I said today resonated for you, just become aware of it. And then once you develop an awareness around it, you can figure out how to shift it. And so there will be more coming up, where you can figure out how to do that, whether it's through the podcast, or you can certainly message me if you want to find ways to work on shifting things that you are starting to identify coming up. But thank you so much for being with me during this podcast today. I hope you have an amazing day. Bye. Hey, before you go, would you love to receive my 3-step masterclass to easily create and hold wealth for free? It's called Effortless Money, and it includes the exact framework to start attracting money effortlessly and manifesting abundance with more ease. If you want it for free, all you have to do is leave an honest review of the Wealth Embodied podcast, take a screenshot of this episode and put it in your Instagram stories and tag me at Brianna_Faringer, and we will send you the free Effortless Money Masterclass. This is how my clients have manifested a $13,000 check, a promotion resulting in a $30,000 salary increase, and significantly improved relationships. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you next time on the Wealth Embodied podcast.